Welcome to the Deasy Show. My name is Andrew and this is Beck.
Hello.
Let's get into it.
And today we're talking about resilience.
Which is topical because I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I have the man flu and yet here I am soldiering on.
Yes.
So I can hear the round of applause for my
Soldiering
heroism
on.
already. Soldiering on.
Getting it done.
It's actually not that bad. But you did see that I was doing Facebook posts at 3 a.m.
I did see that because it told me like 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's because I'm hitting the meth pipe hard.
yeah.
Good old methamphetamine.
Well, that's because I gave you the pseudoephedrine. That's 130 milligrams.
It's a mighty dose. If it's good enough for Adolf and the boys, it's good enough for me.
It definitely works.
Takes the snot out of your nose and puts the blitz in Blitzkrieg.
Okay.
And stops me from sleeping until I don't know when. 5 this morning? It was horrendous.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, pretty average. So, you wanted to talk about resilience?
Yeah, so for our 2 subscribers, Useless Hag and Annette, and we can
Wait,
always
is
say,
Useless Hag Annette? Is that her name? Or is that somebody else?
No, I think there's someone else.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, I guess I'll find out, but I'm pretty sure. No,
It's a great username.
Useless Hag and Annette. Hi, 2 subscribers, and then one day we're gonna
Shout out to Useless Hag.
Started at the bottom, and then one day we're going to have 2 mil subscribers.
Right, 2 million Useless Hags.
And then we got up. So if you know any more Useless Hags who are your friends who would like to subscribe, please share the link, and they might enjoy it too. So I guess it came to me on Monday. Yeah, it came to me on Monday. I think we should talk about resilience because people are fundamentally different, obviously, and they're dealt different cards, but all people have obstacles and shit that happens in their lifetime, and people choose to react differently to those things, and then that shapes the person that they are and that they become. And so I wanted to talk to you about resilience and how you think it can help with fat loss.
We need to put that Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean clip in here.
The problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude to the problem. Savvy?
Yeah, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about Johnny Depp. What did you say?
What do you think resilience is important for fat loss?
It's important to the extent that it is required.
It's required.
So
it's very important.
When you do the blitz, I've got that granite code that I expect you to live by. One of them is be determined. And that's sort of a way of saying be resilient. Find a way to do what you can, regardless of the circumstances. Resilience, like when I think resilience, I think stoicism, I think anti-fragility, but resilience is a capability, whereas stoicism and anti-fragility are like philosophies that will help you to have the ability to be resilient and keep going. So yeah, I could go in all sorts of different directions with this. What were you thinking?
So I think resilience is important for overcoming setbacks. And setbacks are always going to happen when you are on like a weight loss journey, fat loss journey, or a fitness challenge maybe, or you're working towards goals, because life isn't perfect and things don't go perfectly to plan all the time. And so people who see obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow will be able to achieve results in the end, and they'll just keep going until they get there. Whereas people who see obstacles as a problem and don't adapt or change to them, then they will probably just stop and fail because they don't want to.
What you just did there is define anti-fragility. So
Right.
I did some Googling just to clear up the differentiation between those sort of 3 things, so I didn't say anything too stupid.
Yeah.
Anti-fragility is almost like turning your problems into opportunities. So again, this goes back to things that will be in my coaching since forever. You're either winning or you're learning. So if you're having an L, if you're taking an L, well, there's a lesson in that that you can then use to get better next time. Whether that's perform higher, be more disciplined, mitigate the extent of a problem, obviate a problem by coming up with a different plan so that the same obstacle doesn't stop you in the future.
Exactly.
And on and on and on. There's like a
Very
bunch
good
of different
point.
things you can do. But for most people, most of the time, the overwhelming temptation is to pout like a little
Give
bitch
up.
and give up.
So people who are more resilient have more of a growth mindset. In that they see setbacks as opportunity to learn and grow and change, level up. Whereas people who aren't very resilient don't have a growth mindset. So they see problems as issues that are like limiting them.
Yeah, they're not
Like,
obstacles.
oh, well, I can't do what Daisy does because I don't have a gym near me. I don't live in Bali, like stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they see these things as limiting obstacles as opposed to just hurdles, as challenges to overcome. Like every problem presents as the end. Oh, well, I tried, but this external factor stopped me. So
it was too hard. So we can talk about, I guess, some examples. So for clients, I have one client who she is in her late 40s, and so she's nearly 50, and she said she wants to look hot like by the time she's 50, which is great. And so I think about 5 years ago, she had a stroke, so she had a brain bleed, and she had to learn how to walk again and move again.
Jesus.
And in order to do that, because I don't know if you know much about the brain, but I believe it was near the cerebellum and on the left side, and then so she couldn't understand how she was moving unless she could use a mirror to see herself. So walking, she did a lot of like walking on the treadmill with a mirror, things like that, to understand how she was moving in space.
Wow.
So that she could move again, lift things again, sit down again. Like she would say to me, she could only sit down unless she turns around, looks at the seat and touches it. Then she can sit down again. And so for her, she's not like, oh, my life is over. I had a stroke. This ruins everything. I'm just going to just not even bother with my health and fitness and strength goals. And so she's the opposite of that. She's like, okay, well, now I want to get stronger again. I can move like normal again. I'm going to the gym, going to lift weights, want to follow a plan, get it done, sort of thing. And she did go back to work, and she's doing everything. So that is an example of someone who is very resilient. That's a big deal to have something like that happen early on in life. Yes, people have strokes later on in life, as they get towards the end of their lifespan, but that's a pretty big deal and something that you would need to work hard at to overcome. A lot of people would be struggling to even come to terms with that.
Yeah, you just went straight to the extreme there. God damn.
Yeah, that is an extreme. But then on the other end of the scale, I will have clients who have no injuries, no mental health problems, have a good life, live in Australia, have all the things that they would need, like a gym membership and food and money and a job and all of that and time. And they're just like, no, it was just too hard today to get it done. And so, you may come up with an excuse and see that as a reasonable excuse in your mind that you don't want to do the training or hit your macros. And so you're just not as resilient as other people.
Yeah. Again, my mind is spinning in a whole bunch of different directions. Is this about you just don't want it bad enough? Because it kind of always seems to boil down to that for me. If somebody can overcome strokes and other like severe physical issues. I mean, I've coached competitors with Hashimoto's. I've coached competitors who had horrific car accidents and massive spinal injuries, come back from all that stuff. They clearly want it bad enough. Like there's no doubt when you see someone sort of overcome that wanky word journey, or overcome those obstacles in their journey. Clearly they want it bad enough. And then if you see someone who says, well, it's too hot and I felt a bit dehydrated and there was too much traffic and
now it's too cold.
The dog crapped on the floor. Oh, now it's too late. Oh, now like just all of these really, really minor inconveniences, trivialities, and things that just might cost you a little bit of time. And that is a reason to just stop. Whereas these other people, as much as they would want to, they literally physically can't go 100%. Like they can't do everything that could be done to chase their goals. But rather than let that frustrate them, they do the 80%, the 70%, the 60%, whatever it is that they are physically capable of doing, that they are in control of, and still get it done. And I don't know if that just boils down to, do you want it enough?
Yeah.
It's got to be part of it. Anyway, it's got to be part of it. I don't know if it's necessarily all of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I had this idea from coaching clients that the way people do one thing is generally the way they do everything. So
that's a good point.
When I see someone training like shit and pussing out, and then their skin folds aren't moving, the scales aren't moving, the tape measures aren't moving, suggests they're probably eating like shit and they train like shit. And then when it comes time for posing, if they make it that far, they don't do their posing practice either. So like they just put in suboptimal or insufficient effort across the board. So I thought that's generally true, but there are so many exceptions to that. The classic example is the tomboy figure competitor. They will train like absolute psychos, and then because they tend to eat too much in the off season and get a bit too chub, they then hate themselves skinny with a strict diet and a bunch of cardio. So they're going like balls to the wall in the training, the cardio, and the diet, and then I can't get them to do their posing practice. Because they've got this tomboy identity where it's like, oh no, I don't do the frilly girly stuff. I've never worn heels, and I just want to shave my hair off because it's too complicated to move it on stage, and all this stuff. So they will do like 2 out of 3 really hardcore, really dedicated, no excuses. And then the only excuse is like the limitations of their own mind and their identity, and the fact that they feel awkward doing feminine, girly things. And then it's really, really easy to coach them through like training and diet, and then it's pulling teeth to get them to, polish the stage presentation. So I saw like that's sort of one genre of exception. Another exception is me. Like when it comes to training, getting in shape, staying in shape, whatever, I'll vary a bit, get a little bit chub, and then tighten up the diet again. I might get, I've in the past, I've done the thing where you get a head cold for 1 week, you don't go to the gym, and then you lose the habit, and it takes you 2.5 or 3 weeks.
Out of routine sucks.
Get out of routine, and it takes me 3 weeks to get back in the gym. And then you look back and go, what the hell was that? But when you look at the last 30 years, it's a preponderance of consistency and always just going back and doing it. And my shoulder really hurts, or my elbow really hurts, or my back really hurts, or whatever's going on. I'm still at the gym, I'm still doing something. I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
Why can't I have that attitude?
With what?
When it comes to like business and stuff. So this is what I preach. This is like me just being quite open about being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Where I preach that, hey, be stoic, be anti-fragile, be resilient, be determined in your fitness journey. Use the word twice. We need like a novelty whip or something when we say these wanky words so that we can be beaten.
A mini one.
and I preach, hey, do that. Practice hardening the fuck up in your fitness journey. I did it again. Because that will translate to other areas of your life. And I still think that's true. But it's not a one-to-one translation for me. So I'll have, video editing or some other kind of subcontractor to do graphic design, or I'll have a tech platform or something, and then it won't work. Anything technology related to me doesn't work. And then I just go, fuck it. Flip the table and walk away, when I don't do the same thing when it comes to, oh shit, I guess I can't do any pressing for the foreseeable future. No, I'm still going to train my chest and shoulders somehow. I'm just not going to do any pressing, you know? Whereas the copy paste attitude to like doing online business thing would be, well, there's a roadblock or a, something stalling progress here, but I can still work on this, and this. But that temptation to just throw a tantrum and bitch out and go, oh, it's all too hard. Like I fall victim to that way more often in that arena of life than I do in the health and fitness, strength training area of life.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm asking the question, does it come down to, do you just not want it bad enough? Because when I do want it bad enough, super resilient. Why am I not so resilient over here? Because it's just making money isn't as important as making gains.
Well, maybe, yeah. Resilience is one of those things that can be learnt over time as well. Like I remember in uni, one of the psych research studies that we looked at was about orphans, and the orphans had like much higher levels of resilience than children who were like born into a normal supportive family.
Kids like me. You know what Yatesy said when I was in the Air Force?
What?
He said Deasy grew up at the school for boys without love. Don't be sad. It's funny.
It's funny because it's true. No, your mum might watch this.
Yeah, probably not. Excuse me. God, Crook is a dog.
Yeah, he's very sick, everyone. So sorry. But also Laura's sick too. So we're all sick.
Yeah, I got it from you.
I'm a tiny bit sick.
Yeah, you two are on the mend, and now I'm going downhill.
And so for my example of myself would be two things. One, when I guess I finally found out I had endometriosis after that super long time. And then, having the surgery and then just being like, okay, time to get back into training. Just get back in shape. So much so that I did it too early, and then I was bleeding through my belly button because I was doing squats too early. So you do need to, wait the correct amount of time. But I think it also translates into other things like women getting pregnant and then sort of deciding that they're not going to do strength training anymore. I mean, I don't think that happens so much here, but I do think it happens in Australia and stuff where women will be like, well, I'm pregnant, my body changed, this is how it is now, and that's fine. And so they don't, as you say, they don't want it as much.
Yeah, in using your story about the comeback from endometriosis surgery, which, by the way, you should probably do like a whole episode on that, the saga, because it's quite a mind-blowing story, which I think a lot of people will relate to in Australia with the best healthcare in the world. Yeah. So when I had a kidney biopsy when I was a lad, and doctor, same thing, no training for X period of time. I got through about half X period of time, and I still remember very clearly because of the pain. There's me bench pressing with no spotter, because real men don't use spotters.
No.
And I've got this hole punch things going through my lower back into my kidney.
Oh my God.
And something ripped, and the pain was like intense, like almost paralyzing. I managed to rack the weight, and then I was stuck on the bench press and had to just roll.
Slide off like a slug.
No, I had to like roll.
Oh my God.
Onto like from the bench press position onto like my hands and knees, and then work out how to stand up and stuff. Now
what ripped?
Probably some lumbar fascia or something. Because when you stick a giant knitting needle with little teeth on it, you're going through a whole bunch of layers.
Stop.
Yeah. And they did it with a TV camera so I could watch it happening.
Oh, what? That's disgusting.
The surgeon or whatever he is, the renal specialist,
God.
he's like his knee on the bench, holding me down with one hand and doing this whole
I'm gonna vom.
thing through my lower back. And I could see this knitting needle shaped thing getting closer and closer to my kidney with the dye. And anyway, good times.
Yuck, I'm gonna vomit now, everyone.
And so, was I back on the bench because I'm resilient or
Yeah.
no,
No.
because I want it bad enough. The same reason as you.
Okay.
That wasn't a rational decision for me to get back on the bench and you to get back into squats. That was, I'm doing what I want to do. That's really what it was. And I think a lot of people will turn, I've talked about this before, the vice of obsession into the virtue of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like that meme that fitness people will put up saying, obsessed is just the word lazy people call the dedicated. Well, yeah, sometimes, but sometimes you are actually obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
You are actually a little unhinged. And so it is a little unhinged to have keyholes punched through the front or the back and then jump onto the squat rack or the bench press. So I'm not sure that we should give ourselves pats on the back for our
we're not giving pats.
clear-eyed resilience when it's probably just being mental. And proof that this is what you really want. Actions express priorities. So our actions are expressing the priority of training, gotta train. But I don't gotta fix the bloody online software platform thing that's glitching out and, or whatever it is, whatever annoying little admin task.
Yeah, you hate admin tasks.
I hate admin, and I hate this whole, verify your account. Oh, you didn't verify it properly. I'm gonna burn the computer down.
But also it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy that you've come up with for yourself. And that's also something that some clients people have. And then they believe, oh, well, I will never lose the weight, or I can't ever keep the weight off. And they've been taught that and they've believed that, or it's happened so many times that it must be the truth. And that's the same with you with technology. Like maybe a couple of times some things didn't work.
Okay, you're downplaying it.
And then you're like,
there's a distinct pattern.
I can't even try. And then you just like throw your laptop out the window and you wonder why it's broken.
Getting a little condescending now. It's called learned helplessness. So people will fail for whatever reason, mostly self-inflicted. And then as you say, they will teach themselves that success will never come. There will always be something that stops you, blah, 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 blah. And then the more that psychology goes around your head, the more it's reinforced, like you're saying, and it does become a self-fulfilling prophecy for sure. And that's part of the coaching process for some people is beating that out of their heads, because those excuses that they think are valid reasons are ego protective. Like, I'm not responsible. It's not my fault that I failed because I've got all of these external problems. Now, before you have a hope in hell of solving the problem, working around the problem, avoiding the problem, whatever, you've got to admit that you chose to have these issues as limiting factors that end your progress. And that was your decision. That's not actually an objective reality. It's a choice you made to just stop and give up in the face of that adversity rather than finding a way.
Yeah.
And so that creates conflict between me and those people.
Yeah.
And so it's rough. It's a rough process. And I don't think it can be done gently. It has to be done in a sort of violent, confrontational kind of way to smack these notions out of people's heads. And then they either retreat and go, no, you're just an asshole. You don't understand.
Yeah.
You don't understand. It's so easy for you. It's so easy for everybody else, but it's genuinely hard for me.
You're a mean person.
You big meanie. And other people are like, right. Yeah, I guess I needed that.
Yeah.
I'm going to step up from now on. Maybe there is some other more gentle, loving approach to helping those people, but you're not going to get it from me.
No.
And the people who respond well, respond great.
Yeah, you've been warned. Okay.
It wasn't a threat.
No, it wasn't a threat. Yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. I think resilience is really important in harnessing, especially if you are setting out to achieve a goal. So if you're going to do the blitz, you need to understand that things will happen during that time.
Or if you're trying to get accidentally hot, product placement.
Yeah, things
More on
will
that later.
happen because life is not perfect. And stop waiting for like this perfect magical time in your life where you're going to have everything like it's just dumb. People are like, I must work out at the same time. It's like, but things may happen.
That is a perfect segue to one of my examples of resilience that I had thought of whilst when you said we're talking about this. I have a relatively new client as well, a 59-year-old Canadian lady, and she's great apart from being Canadian, obviously.
Yeah.
Ew. But with her initial consultation, at the end of it, I went, "Thank you so much, Margaret, for complaining about so many fucking problems." And obviously that's a facetious joke.
Yep.
But it's genuinely true, because if somebody was to come to me and say, "Well, I train like a beast and I eat like an angel and I just don't have any results."
Yeah.
Well, then the answer
That'd
is,
be confusing.
I guess you're fucked. No results for you ever.
Yeah,
You're just
what's
unlucky.
happening?
Oh, well, ridiculous. So it's somebody who's in complete denial,
Yeah.
whereas Margaret isn't. And she's like, okay, so here's my story. And like there's all kinds of injuries and health problems and all these sorts of stuff. I don't think any one of them is like really severe, but it's a bunch of little things that add up. And that really nags at you and breaks you down when it's like, oh, it's always something. It's my stomach or my shoulder or my this or my that, and that sort of kills your motivation.
Yeah, definitely.
And also it invites this, I'll do it when the time is right mentality. So she was putting off coaching until she solved all of these problems. And she's like, I just spent 2 years nearly solving them all. And she has worked through everything and mitigated things and stuff.
Oh, great.
But then she didn't get all the way fixed before she finally realized, oh, it's never going to be perfect. And wouldn't it be better to have some help to deal with the problems rather than trying to solve all the problems myself and then getting to some...
Now the time is right.
Now the time is right.
Yeah.
So not only have you wasted time by not just getting the coaching earlier, you've also made the process more difficult by trying to do it all alone and not bouncing ideas off of somebody else who's probably seen the similar issues before and knows what other people have done about it. So, she's lost a bunch of time. She's lost a bunch of potential results she could have already had. And she sort of woke up to herself at some point and went, oh, that's dumb. Why wait till get help when I need it the least? Because that's basically what you're saying. I can't do accidentally hot, or I can't do the blitz until everything's perfect. Well, when it's perfect, that's when.
Well, that's what a lot of people do.
I know it's what a lot of people do, but it's totally illogical. When life is perfect and everything's easy, that's when you're going to go to the gym and eat well. That's when you need help the least. It's when everything is shit and hard that having someone to help or having an external accountability thing like a group fitness program or whatever, that's going to pay off more when things are shit than when things are good. And yet people think exactly the opposite because of this. Well, I've got these obstacles and they're all game enders. It's over. There's no point starting. There's no point doing anything because of a small hurdle. And it's exactly upside down. Like, right, well, here's the opportunities to
learn and
grow, adapt, improvise, overcome, all that stuff. And seeing as I've put myself down already in this podcast, I'll do the opposite now. I've got a coaching call myself this evening.
Yep.
Okay.
For you. I thought you meant a client. I was like, this is what we always do. Like, what are you talking about?
Wow, it's a day that ends in Y. It's pretty special. No, I've got myself a coach.
Yeah.
Again, it's part of an 8-week program. Is somebody to kick my ass, hold me accountable, and help me deal with all these little challenges and problems. Yeah, so this guy's going to be most useful now, precisely when I'm frustrated with this and that.
Yeah,
but
there's loads of things to learn as well.
There's always so much more to learn, and from people who know more about this stuff than you do. And someone like this guy who's worked with a bunch of other people who do online business, he's going to come in and go, well, why are you doing it the hard way, dummy? Do it like this. And you go, oh,
yeah, hopefully.
Okay. So it'd be really silly of me to stagger through and solve all my challenges and problems the slowest and hardest way possible. Everything's going great. And then I hire him.
Yeah.
Well, what's he going to do? What's he going to fix?
Yeah.
You know?
I think what you said was really important then when you said the time passed and that lady said like, yeah, all that time passed and I didn't go to the gym or do the things I could have to get in shape. And that's, I think it's a really important thing that women, and I guess men, I don't know, I don't work with men, so I don't know. But women really, really forget that you're not getting any younger. And
Where is your husband?
That has nothing
You're
to
over 30.
No, I just mean
Stop being so picky.
as time goes, this has nothing to do with that. As time goes on, think of it that your body is depreciating in that your bones are getting weaker if you are not lifting weight or doing any weight-bearing activity. And then menopause is going to happen too. Your bones are going to be getting weaker. This is could be happening on a daily basis because that's called aging, right? And then your muscles, if you're not training them to get bigger, you're not doing that, they're going to get smaller because you're not training them, right? So you're going to get weaker in every sense. Your bones, your muscles, maybe also your mindset is weaker in that you're unable to overcome things as quickly as you could before. Maybe when you were younger, you're like, screw it, I didn't care. Whereas now you're like, I'm a bit old, I don't know, I'm a bit scared. And that is something really important that women need to realize is you don't have another year to wait to pick up a dumbbell. You don't, because you're going to get older and then it's going to be harder. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. It's very important.
Yeah, we seem to think that we can just hit a pause button, but there is no pause button. Like you're literally not going to be the same person. And if you hit pause, I'll get around to it later. No, you won't, because you're not going to exist. It's going to be a different version of you that's 1 or 2 years older, weaker, and crapper that has to deal with the problem. So it's the same problem, but now you're worse prepared to deal with it. And you've lost this opportunity cost of 2 years where you could have been making progress, but you are going backwards. That you're not staying the same. You have to do some work just to stay the same. So if you're giving up and hitting the pause button,
the same. Yeah, that's exactly it. And staying the same may not even be your preference.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who are doing that. They want forwards progress. They want to get results, but then the only effort they're willing to put forth is the effort that sort of keeps them where they are. And that's another form of another stimulus for learned helplessness. So I run into that a lot, because then people will decide that whatever it is that they're doing is enough, is good enough, and yet they're not getting the commensurate results. Therefore, life is unfair, poor me, it doesn't work, it's never going to work, blah, blah, blah.
It's not important, I don't have the time,
Yeah, then there's no point going harder because it's not working, So this is the mental trap, the self-fulfilling prophecies that people fit into. And it's, all of that is the opposite of being resilient.
Yeah. So what else did you want to talk about?
Well, we haven't mentioned stoicism. And I did all the hard work of Googling it, Beck. So let me talk about it at least a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So stoicism basically means you're dealing with these challenges, you're overcoming the obstacles, and you're not complaining about it. That's pretty much it. Is that you're not...
So you're not expecting an applause.
Not expecting an applause, you're not expecting sympathy, and you're not giving mental time and energy to things that are outside of your control. You only focus on the things that are in your control. You go, so like the ultimate pure stoic is, right, I'm going to go to the gym and do squats. Boom. Now you've got a stroke and you need a mirror to learn to use your left leg. The ultimate stoic goes, right, now I'm going to do rehab for the next year and learn to walk again, and then I'm going to go to the gym and do squats. And you don't focus on, well, this is terribly unfair and this isn't what I wanted to do. And,
how did this happen?
Why did this happen? All the very, very normal human emotions and thoughts that you would have, you just put that aside because it's unproductive. So stoicism is only focusing on that which is productive. And so doing poor me stuff, you just get rid of it.
I think stoicism is a very masculine trait.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary. Resilience is absolutely necessary, and stoicism is a way to be resilient. But again, I've told clients for years, you can cry all you want, you can abuse me all you want, you can do all the poor me's, so long as you do the work. I don't care. Just get the work done, and that's be resilient. So you can do your set of squats whilst crying and hating training and hating squats and hating leg day and hating me, and you will get the stimulus from your set of squats. Or you can do it whilst humming Mary Poppins songs and thinking leg day is the best. You're going to get the same training stimulus. So it doesn't really matter. I don't think you have to be stoic, but stoicism will definitely provide for resilience. And it might even provide for mental health as well. If you start spiraling into anxious worrying about things that are outside of your control, you're just going to lose so much mental energy and reduce your motivation to take action with the things that are under your control.
Yeah, that are important for you to
So,
do.
yeah, stoicism is definitely good. I don't think it's required necessarily all the time for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to... Can I read my funny thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Read your funny thing.
So basically, I was looking for reels, and there's not so great this week. So everyone who does Instagram, you need to work harder.
Lift your game for Becky Lee's entertainment.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, so this is a funny one. It's you know how people leave reviews for businesses on Google and things like that. And I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's done that for you too. They didn't get your sense of humor and then leave a review for you he's crazy, and it's funny, but and it does happen. I saw something for Power and Revive the other day. It was 220K for an hour. What a joke. And then I saw that they didn't even go there or something, but they just left a terrible review without even going there. It's oh, come on. Just, if you think it's too expensive, just don't go. Just go to another gym. Anywho, so this is funny. Okay, so here we go. 15 painfully entitled people that made us want to punch our screen. Okay, 1 star. Don't bother calling for takeout. They put you on hold and never come back. Full stop. This is the response from the owner. Sorry for your inconvenience. The server taking your order had a seizure while doing so and couldn't complete the process. When you showed up to retrieve your order and it was not ready, even though there was an ambulance... in front of the restaurant and we were tending to the medical emergency at hand, we offered to complete your order at that time. I'm sorry that you declined and chose to complain in a public forum. Oh my god. But it's just funny because...
I think I know who wrote that. One of my former clients wrote that. In fact, it could be one of two. Yeah.
Because
that's awesome.
It was just on Facebook. I was just scrolling, and then I don't know what the other ones, but I'm definitely going to go back to read the other 14.
Right.
Because it's so funny. But I was just don't bother calling for takeout. They put you on hold and never come back. And the person nearly died. And they still were okay, we'll complete your order. Just wait.
Just wait till the ambulance is out of the way.
Yeah, just wait 10 minutes. And then they're fuck you, going home. I'm not waiting for my ticket. Don't bother. I can't. So many people are like this in Canggu now because everyone expects everything to be perfect in Canggu because it's a holiday island. It's not real life. Well, I mean, not the whole island of Bali, but it's specifically Canggu. The standards are so high. So this would be a normal review.
You're trying to not use the word Russian, aren't you?
I didn't say it.
Okay.
Oh, it was so funny. It really made me so happy. It was so entertaining. I can't wait to go back and read the other 14. And if anyone wants me to send you a screenshot, I can, and you can laugh too.
Yeah, wow. That's
Or the link for the other 14.
yeah, they're out there. These people are out there.
I know. People are so mean.
Well, that's extreme solipsism, extreme narcissism, and probably
How dare you have a
sociopathy.
seizure?
No empathy. You
What about my fucking food?
step
my
over the
pizza?
body. Where's my fish and chips?
Oh my god. Oh, it made me laugh so much that I just
Yeah.
need to calm down now.
So I need to be more like that person. That person.
You said this the other day.
This
You
person
said
is
you
goals.
Need to be meaner.
I need to be. Yeah. I need to foster my own sociopathy and selfishness as much as possible. I think that'd be good. I'll get ahead in life that way.
So
Right.
moving on to your stuff.
Well, I guess that's it for our first talk about resilience, although there could be more because it's such a huge topic.
Yeah.
It was quite unguided and went in a bunch of different directions,
Yeah.
which I anticipated because it is so integral to actually getting results. But I think we sort of thrashed out enough for now. So we should probably do some sort of product placement.
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's talk about Accidentally
the new
Hot.
stuff.
We're in the middle of the big launch sale. So it is sale of the century. It's super cheap. If you didn't get an email, didn't watch last week's episode, Accidentally Hot is an 8-week transformation challenge where we're not taking it so seriously. We're taking the piss a little bit. And the goal, obviously, is to improve your aesthetics, but
Yeah.
also have a cloak of plausible deniability where it's a health challenge, but also actually improve your health at the same time. So to that end, we're going to have like key performance indicators, some metrics. First one's going to be before and after photos, obviously, because that's the point.
Yeah.
But then we can have a look at health markers and measurements to see.
Some blood tests would be great.
Yeah, I'd love to see people get some blood tests before and after. I'd
Yeah.
love to see people do those biological age estimations before and after. I'd love to see resting heart rate, fasted blood glucose, and yeah, even blood tests. That would be really cool. It would be great to gather some data from people who have really thrown themselves into just 8 weeks of trying to be hot and healthy.
Yeah.
And see just how much you can move the needle, because it is often quite shocking. So I've had in the past, like with the Blitz, which is a 10-week program, it's an 8-week challenge crammed into 10 weeks because there's a whole week of mindset first and a deload, debrief week. This is going to be more straight to the point. I've had people in the past that go, "Oh, you're a healer. I no longer take," insert drug name here, "for my medical condition," insert medical condition here, "and it's because you're a healer." I'm like, I don't know what drug you just said, and I don't know what disease you just said, so I'm probably not a healer. It's just that when you eat sensibly and healthy and exercise, turns out lots of good things happen. And so, yeah, we've had multiple people like get off their medications and things in 8 weeks whilst looking better. So I'm trying to slay this idea that training to be hot is shallow and vain, and it's different from training to be healthy. Because when you're really training to be hot, to be aesthetic, to get in shape, everything you're doing actually makes you healthier. So I really want to shatter this idea that people have, because again, it's another excuse. It's an excuse for not looking the way you want to look, right? Because you try and get in shape secretly, you don't tell anyone, then you fail, but it's okay because you didn't tell anyone that you're trying to get hot. And then you move the goalpost to, oh, I run for my mental health, or I lift weights to be strong, and blah, blah. Like you come up with some holistic health, virtuous reason for exercise and diet interventions, because you failed at the primary goal, which was to look better, to get back into your old genes, etc.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's shallow at all, because when you know that you're looking better, when you know you're looking the way you should, that's going to improve your self-esteem. How can it not?
Yeah, but also I think all of the things are mirrored in all those different things. So basically,
That was deep, Sensei. Explain that one.
so you want to train, and then because you're training hard, you want to hit your macros or eat healthily. And then as a result, because you went to the gym or you went for a walk, you felt good. And so everything, it's like a ripple effect or a cycle that goes round. What's that?
Spiral?
Yeah.
Yeah. You spiral up or you spiral down. So looking better, feeling better, being healthier, all these things reinforce the next decision to do something positive, which will make you look better, feel better, be healthy.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. And so that's what these 8-week challenge things are really about. It's about giving you a bite-size goal, an artificial time frame, so that that your monkey brain is happy to go, oh, okay, there's kind of an end date to this, so I can throw myself at it. And then my hope is that over those 8 weeks, you go, actually, there's no real need to stop at 8 weeks. I'm not doing anything unhealthy. I'm not doing anything that's hurting me. I'm not doing anything crazy. I've just readjusted my priorities, readjusted my macros, readjusted my exercises at the gym, and I'm being a more dedicated and disciplined person. And it's not killing me. It's okay.
Yeah.
And every week I look better and every week I feel better. So why don't I integrate this into a lifestyle?
Yeah, you can maintain it. It's not killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making you stronger, harder to kill.
Harder to kill. Harder to kill. Yes.
That's awesome. I wish I was harder to kill, but lately aging has just really thrown me a curveball.
You're feeling easy to kill right now.
Just the pain and the tiredness.
Well, I'm doing this walking for my 175 hard as
I would
granite
like to
challenge,
do some walking, but
and that's
no
making me
walking
feel
can
easy to
do.
kill. I nearly tripped over on the way to the gym the other day because how's that funny?
Well, why are you walking again? Oh, that's right. You want to run.
It was you who left
got
that
a
review, wasn't it?
little
You stepped over the body for your fish and chips. Ha ha! You had a stroke.
No.
Well,
It wasn't a stroke. It was a seizure.
seizure. Okay. The manhole cover just lifted.
Well, yeah, you got to be careful.
At a 45 degree. I made the mistake of not staring at my feet.
Safety is your
relentlessly.
choice. What is it?
Safety starts with you.
Yeah, it does.
There's these
Have you
signs in
seen more
Manila.
of
It's an
those?
in-joke from when we went to Manila back in 2017, 2018. You, me, and Simone for that
Yeah.
NBA style show, AMB show.
Yeah.
And they just have holes in the footpath and steel reinforcing
No, it's
sticking out
the
with rust
same as
and
Canggu.
tetanus on it. Same as Canggu. But they have signs up, yellow signs, the safety signs. But what they say is safety starts with you. And I amended it in my head to safety starts and ends with you. Because you need to be aware or you're going to fall in a hole or hit your head or whatever. And that's 100%
They should
Indonesia.
put those signs up around here.
Anyway, I'm blaming it for my terrible posture because anytime you go outside and walk in Bali, you need to be looking at
Oh,
your
good
feet.
point. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what Bali looks like because my eyes aren't up here. I'm like,
No,
oh God, where am I going to put my feet so I don't
I'm
fall
yet
over?
to see it.
I've yet to see Bali. I've literally seen more tourists slip and fall
Oh, yeah.
over on their feet than I've seen scooter crashes.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
everyone knows about the traffic. Everyone knows how crazy it is. I have been there when scooters have crashed into things, other scooters, cars,
Oh, yeah, I've seen
off the
some
road.
crashes.
I've seen a few of those. I've seen more people completely able-bodied just fall over and hurt themselves.
Or fall down like a hole.
Fall down a hole, slide down a sandy slope on the footpath that then sort of feeds you under a truck. I've seen more people just fall over than have a scooter crash. So people think we're exaggerating when I say, the most dangerous thing you can do is go for a walk in Bali.
No, it's
But
true.
statistically it is. Because for every
I still
person
don't know
walking,
where to walk.
for every person walking, there's 10,000 scooters. You see one person on the footpath and 10,000 scooters go past, and I've seen about the same number of accidents. So walking, therefore, is 10,000 times more dangerous than a scooter in Bali.
Very dangerous.
When you're drunk with no helmet and a dog on the bike, and it's night and it's raining, still better off than trying to walk on the footpath.
I agree.
Right. Well, that took a weird segue, but hopefully it was entertaining at least. And
Yeah.
educational, it's true. It's it's a travel warning for anyone visiting Bali.
Yeah.
Watch your step. Okay, we've crapped on enough. I think that'll do us. So if you are looking for coaching programs like Accidentally Hot on special now, hit the link below, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.